Okay. Greetings, everyone. This is Pamela Lorenzo, your friend, your coach, your host of the Leader Out podcast. Today, I have part two of a wonderful episode I just did yesterday. Well, when you listen to that, it's not going to be yesterday anymore. It's going to be just the day before. So, with a wonderful lady, my good friend, Abigail, wonderful lady, originally from Ghana, now in tropical Colorado. You know what I mean? Still, she has her bikini ready. She has her suntan ready, her ski goggles ready at the same time. Yeah.
Exactly.
So we were, I'm a chatter. I love talking. She's the same. And when two chatterboxes get together, it's like firefoxes, whatever you want to call it. Yesterday we talked with a wonderful conversation for over an hour and a half. So we had to cut it to make a part two because we both had another call right away. So now we're just resuming it today for part two. So buckle up. Let's get it ready to rock and roll. Are you
Woo!
ready?
Yes, I am.
Welcome again to the show, my friend.
Thank you for having me again. I'm excited for today.
Pleasure's all mine. And as I told you, you really need to do a podcast, some kind of calling on fashion. I love your hair headgear yesterday and today. The necklace you're having and the earrings. My God, you will be an amazing fashion. What's the name? Sherpa. You know,
Oh man. Well, thank you. Thank you.
if that name is available, grab it. You have 10 minutes before I do it. Because that's a beautiful name.
Oh, thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome. All right. So yesterday we left off at we covered about your background and all that good stuff. An amazing story, powerful. But now today we're gonna talk on this part two about which is the theme of this podcast about causes. So tell us, Abigail, what is a cause that you're deeply passionate about?
I have to tune in really deeply into this because there's so many things that pull me that I wouldn't call a cause, but it would be a pull, a desire, like that's where I'm being pulled to.
Mm.
It will have to be. I think I talked a little bit about this yesterday. It would be children,
Okay.
um, which is very interesting because the more I talk about this, the more it becomes clear. Like a long time ago, I met a woman who is in the metaphysical, community here, and she's very, very psychic, and she has a habit of just popping up to you and then just telling you something that you're like, well, first of all, I don't know you. Second of all, where did this come from? And I remember she popped, she's like, hi, did you know you're supposed to work with children? And I was like,
Out of the
no.
blue. Out of the
Yeah,
blue.
out
So
of the
just someone
blue.
from the street just came to you. You need to talk to work with children. All right.
It was actually at a metaphysical event. So it was
Wow.
like a talk. They had someone come in, and that was like my first time going to it. And yeah, I entered, I was all shy, I was looking around, and there comes this woman. And I was like, no, I don't think so. And she's like, and then she walked away,
You have
and
just
this
one
happened
purpose, one
twice.
message to deliver. Okay.
Yep. And then this
Wow.
happened the second time. This was like after I had gotten to know her for a while. And again, she was like, you're supposed to work with children.
The
And I was like,
same
I have
person
no idea
or
what
a different one?
yeah, the
Wow.
same person. And I was like, I have no idea what you mean by that.
Who are
And
you?
so exactly, well, I know who she is now. But but it's like I feel like it's a mission that is unfolding. It keeps unfolding, and now that I have my son, it's becoming clear and clear. Like, was it 2020? I did a fundraiser with a book company where I brought people together. We raised funds and we bought these. It was called the Cuddle Bear campaign, and so we bought these reading books, and it came with a bear, and we donated to the children's hospital. And I remember taking like these. We had like 2 cars filled with them, and we got there, and I remember I was so happy. I could not contain it. Like, I was so happy that these children who are, and they're all like, it was in the cancer, what do you call it? The
Word.
cancer. Yeah. Yeah. And so each child, as they're staying there, they get to have the book and also the bear. And it brought me so much joy. It brought me more joy than I thought it would. So it's, when I say it's a mission unfolding, I feel the desire there, and I can go back in time and see, like in college, I wanted to volunteer in a children's hospital, being with the children. And I saw myself like just sitting there talking to them and just beaming energy into them, what they need to heal. And, at that time, I lived in a college town. There was so much demand, pre-med students, everyone wants to do that. And there was only one hospital there. And so it was very hard to get in the first place. So I found something else. But again, it was like that desire, like stepping in there. And every now and then I'll get that idea too, like going into that children's hospital and interacting with these terminal children and, just bringing them joy, just uplifting their day, something, but I also understand my energy, just being there in my energy would do something for them. So yeah, it is a mission that is unfolding. I can't see it clearly, but the desire, that deep desire is definitely there. Yeah.
Wow, that's very powerful. Now let's backtrack a little bit because it's something that really caught my attention. You mentioned that lady out of nowhere that walked into you and said, delivered the same message twice. You need to work with kids. So you said that you mentioned that you had not known her or met her before that. Just out of the blue, straight up, hi, nice to meet you. You need to work with kids right off the way. Okay, nice to meet you too. And then, so looking back at that at the highest level now, do you think that that person was meant to be in your life just to deliver a very powerful message to guide you in the right direction? What I'm saying is, do you think you and her may have a soul contract? Hey, this is my role. This is, I just like in a movie, just have you one line to deliver. Just don't F it up, just say it. Do you think this is one of those cases that you have a soul contract? Sometimes we meet people that sometimes we may have like a very short interaction, or sometimes just for a few weeks, few months, but that interaction, that person can take our life into a completely different direction. Do you think that she was one of those key key players in your life?
I wouldn't, it doesn't feel like a soul contract. I still know her. And actually, she was the one that started the meetup group that I went to. So she was the organizer, which made sense why she just swooped in and noticed that I was new there and came to talk to me.
Okay.
But it felt like a spark. Like we get people that just come in and they say something and it sparks something
in you.
Yeah. But it's not like a bonfire where it's like, oh, now I know my purpose. It's like, again, it's like a mission unfolding. It's just making sure that that fire is still burning in there, but she ignited, like through her organization, through her meetup and, all the speakers that she brought in. Like at the end, I ended up doing classes, like, what do you call it? Like workshops in her group. So she took me on a journey, like I got to know so many spiritual people. I got to learn so many things. And I also got to step into my leadership role in her group, after a while. So yeah, like even now, like if I met her somewhere, if I saw her, she would bring that up again. Like it doesn't, every time I see her, it comes up, it's almost like a reminder, like the back of the mind, subconscious, like, hey, don't forget this. It will come, like when the time comes, it'll make sense. Don't forget this. Don't forget this. It's like that nudge that keeps happening. Yeah.
That was your very first interaction with that person at the time?
Yes.
Like, hi, nice to meet you. My name is this. You need to do this.
Okay. Oh, she didn't even say her name.
Oh, wow.
It was just like, hi. It's like, hi. I was like, oh, hi. And she's like, do you know that you're supposed to be working with kids? And I was like, no. And at that time, I was also thinking about going to medical school and learning about the human brain, like doing brain surgery. Like that was like my goal. So I was like, no, No, not even close.
That reminded me of another lady that I had on my podcast. She's one of my students, alumni of my 3-week launch a podcast challenge. I had my podcast 2 weeks ago. She said something similar. She said at some point in her life when she was younger, she had an unexplainable, physical ailment. No doctor was able to find what was it about. She couldn't even. She was in perfect health, and all of a sudden she couldn't do anything. Doctors were stunned. Nobody can find it, and all of a sudden, out of the blue, this lady comes in her house. She was in bedridden. She knocked on the door. She said, "Can I talk to that?" To her? That person knew her name. And then she said, "No, she cannot." So, okay, I'm going to stay here. She stayed outside on the porch for 4 hours until she was finally let in to talk to that person and told her, "Listen, this is what you need to do. This is what's going to save your life." And after that, she went back her merry way, never to be seen again. And that lady did that, what she told her to go to that, there was a farm to get that specific thing, and that literally brought her back from almost from the grave back to normal. So, and then when she went back to try to that farm to see if that lady was there, never to be seen.
Never.
It was an angel,
Angel, absolutely. I believe in that wholeheartedly because my parents have had experiences like that. I've had experiences like that.
Wow.
I see it as, I ask for those experiences, especially when it comes to divine beings. Because I can see them, I interact with them, like that's my thing, right? But sometimes I need physical confirmation. And so I'd be like, "Hey, angels, you got to help me out here. Can you show up in real person, send me a physical sign so that I really, really know that this is anchored, like this is true." And that's how it will come in like that. But yeah.
Have you seen angels
like
manifesting in real life in your life?
Oh, I wish I would, in full blown, where you're like, whoo, not physically with my eyes, energetically, yes. Like I can see the energy form, I can see the light form. And I always tell them, why don't you just appear physical in front of me so I can touch you, I can hug you, physically, yeah, it's very interesting because there are people who have the gift of, I don't even know if they see them physically or if it is just through energy that they perceive them physically.
Something can be a voice in your head. Another lady on my podcast said one time years ago, she was driving on the highway and all of a sudden she heard a voice, "Slow down. She was about to change lane. Slow down. Do not go in that lane." I swear to you, 5 seconds later, a car comes in and crashes into another in that lane. And that saved her life.
Ooh, I have a story for you.
Please, this is about stories, so bring it on.
As you said that I had chills. This was after I graduated from college, I would do this commute from Fort Collins to Denver. Because I had an amazing work job there that I loved, but I also felt that call to come back to Denver. And so I worked there. It was Thursday through Sunday. And then I would come back to Denver and stay at my parents and then kind of go back. And usually I would wait till Monday because I was sleep. It was a nighttime work. So I was sleep and then, go when I'm rested. But this day I had this strong pull to go. I wanted to wake up in the morning, Monday, in my bedroom in Denver. I had this desire. So I decided, after I got off 11:30, I would just get in my car and go. So I packed everything that I needed to. And I got off work and I was so excited. I was like, "Are you sure you want to go?" And it was still a clear yes. And I felt so energized, I drank a cup of tea, I felt good. And I started driving. I got on the highway and I started driving. I started feeling my energy just drop. Almost I was gonna fall asleep. I felt this feeling of dread, that, oh, something, it made me want to cry. And so immediately I was like, "Angels, I give you this car. Please drive me to my destination because I don't know if I will make it there." And it was so strong how it felt like I was gonna sleep, which came out of nowhere. And so I'm sitting there and it's almost like I'm in like this daze, and I was following a truck, and it kept being highlighted, and I was like, angels, please help me. I need your help. Take over, drive me home, make sure I get home safe. And immediately it was like the entire car just got flushed in like this white warm light, and I saw this being come just with the biggest smile ever.
Wow.
And he kind of just swooped in front of me and took the
Steering
wheel.
wheel, yeah.
And it's the weirdest feeling. Like I felt like, how like you get into your bed, you're like, I can sleep, like that feeling of just relief. Like I felt like that's surrender.
Mhm.
I still don't know how I got home. I still have no idea how I was, and how, like, why I was even sleepy. Like it still boggles my mind. And so I got home, I went straight to bed, and I said, the next morning I woke up and my mom was like, how are you doing this? How are you doing today? How was your drive? And I was like, I'm glad I'm here. And my mom was like, yeah, your dad and I had a dream that, you were driving home and you got hit by a truck, and you were completely like dismantled and you didn't make it. And so I told her my story, and she's like, oh my
Wow. So they
God.
had
Yeah,
the
she's
dream
like,
after the event or before the event?
I think it was before. It was before the event.
And of course, they
Yeah.
didn't tell you. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
it would be, they had it while I was driving. That's
oh,
what, yeah, because it
okay.
was the same night. But because I got home so late, I
So it
went
was
straight to
okay.
bed. So they didn't get to see me,
So that
yeah,
was at
until the
night,
morning.
driving at night. Was that during the winter?
Yes.
Was it during rain or just
No, thank goodness. No
okay?
snow. Yeah. Yeah, it
No
was
rain.
very odd. I mean, I've done this so many times, and it was like this tiredness, it just came over me out of nowhere. And I just this feeling of dread, like I need help or I can't make it, and calling in my angels and like feeling them come in, like that experience. Whew,
So from the
yeah,
moment that you called in for guidance from the angels until they showed up, how long do you think passed?
it was instant. The moment I said, angels, please help me, I need
Wow.
help. It's like whew, like the
I'm
light, the flood of light. Yeah, it was
getting
like,
goosebumps
I mean,
right now. Wow.
I've been working with my angels for a long time, like since I was a child, and when I call them in, I feel them very strongly. I can see them too, so it was just like instant, like flood of light. The entire car was covered in this beautiful light, and that being just swooping in to take over and drive me home, like with just a smile. I still remember the smile, kind of like, you're okay now, oh.
So
Whew.
how long was from the moment they took over the car until you went home? How long was that leg
So it's
of the trip?
probably 45 minutes.
Oh wow. And in those
Yeah,
time and at that moment, what did you do? Did you completely surrender or it was almost like a dream? You didn't realize what happened from the moment
it
they took
was like
over.
a dream. Yeah, it was like a dream. It wasn't until I merged off of the highway to get to the street that takes me to my parents' house. That's when I like came to, like, wide awake, back to that energy that I had, that I started out with, Um, yeah. And I just got home, and I remember parking the car and just like, thank you. Thank you for getting me home safely. Thank you so much for protecting
Wow.
me. Thank you. And then, going
You
into the
were
house and
you
going
were
to bed.
physically not conscious of driving a car for a good amount of time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh
It
my
felt like a
God.
dream, like I was dreaming. Like it was the oddest feeling ever. Yeah.
Wow, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Was that the only time this happened, or you have had that multiple times?
I've had multiple.
You need to write a book. Seriously, seriously. Please don't get me come here and make you type the book, or give you a pen and make you write.
I feel there's a book or two in me. I
Oh,
don't, I haven't felt that it's time yet. I
okay.
haven't felt like it's time yet. Yeah, I've tried to kind of write something every now and then, but the flow, it's not time yet. Yeah, yeah.
Or if you don't do it, I might do it myself and invite you to share your story in a chapter in my book.
There you go.
Would you be? I'm serious. I'm not joking. Would you be down?
I'm serious too. You know I would.
Oh, my kind of girl. I like that. All right,
Woo!
let's talk business after. Absolutely. No, but seriously, jokes aside and all that, this would be a phenomenal book because this is what people need. A hope that hey, they're not alone. Even in the darkest time, all you need is just like I'm not religious, but even in the Bible it says, "Ask and you shall receive."
Yes,
You know,
absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. Like when we learn to ask, like for me, asking for protection, this is something I do every day, actually. I don't need to be driving. I don't need to feel, like unsafe. I do it it's like the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, like protect me. I call in the golden lights to surround me, my family flood through into all areas of my life, into my business, into my clients, and into the world, blessing whoever needs it, and you have to ask for it. When it comes to the divine doesn't care, like there's no well, what am I looking for, like stipulation, or you have to do this to get this, or it's just, are you
no
gonna ask
guidelines.
me?
Yeah.
I'm almost here. Yeah, like I'm always here. Just ask, what do you need? How can I help you? How can I support you?
And this is what I always keep on saying. Life is like it's called like a buffet. Yeah, like a 5-star Michelin restaurant. It's all about us trying and experimenting all kinds of experiences and dishes. By dishes, I mean experiences. And just like in a restaurant, you have a menu. You just ask what you want. Okay, I want this. I want this. I want the steak with the mashed potato, for example, and a beautiful bottle of red Bordeaux, for example. You just ask. Sure, you're gonna be able to pay for it, but you have to ask for it first. You know what I mean? And the
Yes.
universal for term paying would be maybe doing good. Having
Yes,
good positive, um, you know, intentions. That's how you pay it. You pay it forward.
exactly. Exactly.
So
The universe will always meet you where you are.
totally.
The universe will always meet you where you are. Yeah.
So how many of those amazing angelic experiences have you been blessed with so far?
I mean, that was like an experience that was, I was going to say scary, but like when I was younger, my gift of being a medium was like more activated than anything. And so at that time, like that's where I really solidified my relationship with my angel team, my angelic team. Because being a medium, you need, if you're a medium and you're not
Yeah,
working with your angelic, your divine team,
not
you're
gonna
doing
work.
yourself a this seriously, because it can be scary. And being a child and ushering souls every Friday night, I hated Friday. I
Why?
hated it. Like every time Friday came, I was like, oh, I don't want to go back to sleep. I don't want to sleep. Being a child, that was frightening sometimes, especially the souls that weren't as nice. There were souls that were more pleasant. It made, the work good.
Wait a second. So
But
you're getting visits from souls every Friday night?
I would go to them. That's the thing. I would actually go to them, like in
Why
my,
on Friday nights?
I
Because it's
think it's
party night.
because I'm not in Ghana. I know the weekend, especially Fridays, like they start the wake process. It's like a whole weekend ordeal, where Friday, they lay that person there, and like there's a whole thing, and then Sunday they bury the person. So there's like a whole
Oh, I see. Okay.
you can say like a ceremony around that. And so you can hear people crying, you can hear the music, you can so I think that was probably why. But yeah, for some reason it's like Friday. Yeah, I used to hate Friday. Oh my
Is
gosh,
it
like
because
every
in
time.
Ghana they would bury the dead people on Friday nights?
It was Sundays, so they would do Sundays.
So they would only
Yeah, they
bury
would.
people on Sundays, even if they died say on a Monday?
Well, I think they would keep them, preserved until
In the
they
freezer.
could. I
Yes,
wonder
yeah.
why they, I mean, it makes sense to choose the weekend because everybody, would make time for it.
Off
But
work,
yeah,
yes, yes.
it tended to be Friday nights where I would always be pulled into these houses and like try to help the beings. Thank goodness I wasn't doing this by myself. I'm so grateful for that.
So when
You
you
know,
say
I
going
would
to the
go in.
houses, would you say you were doing like a kind of an astral projection?
Oh, absolutely. That's part of my gift. Absolutely. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's part of my gift.
when did you realize that you had this gift or this curse, depending on how you look at it?
Oh, it's totally a gift.
So when did you realize that you had this something different and unique and special?
Very early on. Like I said, I was born a spirit child. You know, like I was
Wow.
born in spirit. So spirit world, that's my world. I get it. Like it's like how we live in the human world and some people just get, being human. I get being spirit. I get being divine. Like that's the core of me. My challenge and the mastery is learning to be human, if that makes sense.
So
So I knew very early on. Yeah.
is that something that you inherited from either your mother, your father, or someone in the family that were at the same gifts as you?
Both sides.
Whoa.
I've met generations on both sides that all have those gifts. Yeah. Yeah.
And when you realized that you had those gifts, did you share it with them or you kept it to yourself?
Oh no, it was to myself. Well, in the way, how do I put it? I didn't feel the need to share it with them because I always felt like I had someone to share it with. Like I
Angel.
had. Exactly. So I never felt, and I also I knew that my parents wouldn't understand it. My mom, like very religious, she still is, which you would think that she would celebrate the fact that if I say I work with angels, but when we go back to religion, it's like, it's almost people have been programmed that only certain people can have
Saints and yeah.
access to divinity. So, but I have a feeling like now hearing my mom talk about watching me grow, she knew that I had these gifts. Like some of the stories that she would say, I'm like, so you did know, you just perhaps didn't know how to embrace it, how to accept it. Yeah.
Your mom is now with you in Colorado?
Yes. And my dad too. So, and
It's
my
awesome.
sisters. Yeah.
So when
Hi.
hey, we have a visit here. Hello there.
Hi, Vivi.
Say hi.
He's being all shy.
I'm shy too. Look, I'm shy too. Hey, I'm shy too. Hello. How are you doing, brother? What's your name, champion?
What's your name?
He's adorable.
Thank
How,
you.
how old are you?
Are you going to say how old you are? See, I'm 3.
Wow, big boy.
I know, right? Yeah, I know.
That's awesome. Wow.
He makes appearances every now and then.
Well, then you were asking earlier that hey, I want to see a manifestation physical. Maybe there you have it, of an angel in your
I
life.
got you.
I
Yeah.
got you too.
I love it. I love it. Yes.
Amazing, amazing, amazing. These are deep thoughts. I wonder what. Sometimes, honestly, when I look at people around me, it doesn't matter whether it's people, family, or strangers, especially when in deep thoughts, I say, I wonder what are they thinking about? What's in their mind?
Yeah. He's
What's in your
definitely an
mind?
old soul.
Oh yes, I can see that. Very inquisitive. I can see him becoming a scholar or something. A scholar or a champion. I'll go for a champion, bro. Go for a
You'll take it.
champion.
You'll take it.
Absolutely. That's awesome. Wow. Hey, maybe in 20 years, I'll bring him on my podcast to talk about his
Oh, that
experiences.
would be awesome.
Both of
Did
you,
you
you
hear
know?
that? Yeah. Do you want to go get your Overton and your iPad? And then I'll be right out. Okay. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Go
And
get
that
your
was,
Overton. Yeah. And go get your iPad and get warm. Get warm. I'll be right out. Or you can go lay in your bed. No. Go lay in your bed, baby. Let me finish. What are you doing? I'm glad you get to edit this because
Oh, I'm not. Absolutely not. I will not edit.
cool. Okay.
I will not edit.
Okay.
Unless there's a catastrophe or something. I do not edit. I want to keep it as real as possible.
Okay. I like that.
I've had cats interrupt us, dogs interrupt us, but kids, absolutely not. And I did not, edit the cats and dogs. So definitely not a beautiful boy like that. Future champ.
And cheesing over here.
Now he's getting comfortable. Huh? He's getting comfortable. Before you know it, he's going to be singing to us, singing and dancing,
Oh, don't tempt him.
Oh, I'm not. Maybe after the podcast,
Exactly. He likes to take over sometimes. Yeah.
Oh, sometimes maybe all the time. I know. He's a party animal in the making. I can see that.
Oh. Yeah. Mama life.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful. We're almost done.
Okay.
He wants to tell you something.
Just thinking away. You like that one? Do you want to go get a pen and you can draw one too?
Wow, what a beautiful experience. That's awesome. So we're talking about all your angelic experiences and your psychic abilities. So when you say psychic abilities, what kind of psychic abilities were you talking? Was it just like seeing things, talking to angels, hearing voices? Tell us about exactly what kind of psychic abilities were you blessed with at a young age.
I feel like I always say that I feel like all my clairs, so like the main clairs is like our way of experiencing spirit in the world, especially the spirit world. I was born with all of those activities, so I'm able to, my strongest one is the ability to know. So I just have this knowing, like like it feels like I'm a walking encyclopedia, or someone who's had the experiences before. Like someone will start talking about something and I will start chiming in as if I was in that experience. Like I can see the images, I can feel what was going on, and it just comes through. It's like an inner knowing. That's like the strongest one. I'm also able to see energetically. I'm also able to hear what was I gonna say? I'm able to hear what you cannot hear with the regular ears, right? And see what you cannot see with the physical eyes. I'm able to feel. So this is where they would, most people say empathic, right? I like to say compassion, because compassion is an elevated empath. Empath in this day and age has been wounded, if I should say. It's been seen as like a curse because most people don't truly understand what that gift is. The way I always tell my clients is that as an empath, you see someone suffering, you put yourself in the shoe. What are you doing, baby? You put yourself in the shoe and you walk with that shoe. So you are in that suffering. You are taking it all in, right? And you keep the shoes. Where when you're compassionate, you're the observer. You don't wear the shoe. You see the shoe. You can still relate to them and you can still be of greater service to them. You're able to help them better because you're not taking on all of that heaviness. And the other part of that is that when you take on other people's suffering without them giving it to you, it's like you're holding on to a big piece of the puzzle that they need in order to heal. But we somehow think that when we take it on, when we're wearing the backpack that we're helping them. We're not, because then they're trying to figure it out without that missing piece that you're holding, so the compassionate empath, I should say it that way. Is there a different word for an empath? The compassionate being versus the
Yeah.
empath. Yeah.
Empath, I would say also the awakened, or maybe the
Yes.
aware, the aware,
Yeah, because
awakened,
they
yeah.
need to understand what that gift is about.
Enlightened,
And
maybe.
yeah, absolutely. It's not a wound.
Absolutely not. Yeah, it's a
It's
gift. It's
not
a
a
blessing.
curse.
No,
It's
no,
a
no.
blessing. It's a huge blessing to humanity. But
Absolutely.
more empaths need to stop being afraid of it and begin to learn why they have that gift. It is a powerful, powerful gift. Yeah. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Wow. Beautiful. Wow. This can be an entire episode just by itself about
I know.
all these, because I'm absolutely fascinated by that, by all these extraordinary gifts and all that. But let's move forward. Let's talk about something that is really passionate to both of us passionate about, which is podcasting. So you mentioned you started your podcast. Tell us about when you started your podcast.
Baby, can you go play real quick? Okay.
So we're talking about your podcast. So tell us, when did you start your podcast?
Hmm. Let's see here. This would have been 2000 and was it 2008
Oh wow.
or 2009? One of them. It was like a year or two after I I started my business. Like I finally declared it that I'm gonna,
Um,
be an entrepreneur, and I wanted to find a way to reach more people, than the container, just a small container that I had. Um, it's like, how can I get the message out there to more people? And I also love the idea that it was just my voice. I could record it. It didn't matter where I was, where, video, you it's like the technicalities that we all have to do to prepare for it. But audio was just so easy for me. I could just do it anywhere I was, so far as I have my phone, I could record it. So it felt very easy and accessible for me. But what drove me to create a podcast was, how can I get these messages that are coming through me to more people? How can I reach more people? And the podcast presented itself. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. So now, are you using the podcast to help you with your business, to get clients in any way, shape, or form?
No, I would say no.
Why
But I'm
not?
willing to learn. Well, because I didn't know that was a possibility until actually recently. When I met you, and there's also another gentleman that I met, Brad Walsh, which I introduced both of you. I didn't know that was a possibility. I just thought a podcast, it's just you show up, you share your wisdom, or do your thing. And I didn't know that was a possibility, that you can use that to also promote your business and bring in clients. So yeah, I'm in that learning phase of that.
Absolutely, because this is a powerful way. One of the most effective, powerful ways to promote your business is through your podcast, because it allows you an incredible, intimate connection with your audience in a way. For example, when someone listens to the radio or the TV, usually it's loud, there's a lot of distraction, but in this podcast, it's just you and them and their earbuds, and they have no other distractions. And you know that right now, probably the most valuable currency in the world of business, is attention, someone's attention. And this is what podcast gives you in ways that no other medium can even comes close to. And as a result of people listening to you, when someone listens to you for a month or two or more, it's for two reasons. One, they're interested in your topic, and two, they like you as a person, your sense of humor, your personality, and all that. And over time, as they get to know you, it will be natural for them to reach out to you. And as I like to say in a funny way, and when that happens, you don't have to pitch, convince, seduce, or kidnap the person to do business with you. They will come after you. They will be actually chasing you.
Yeah, yeah,
So seriously, do
totally.
that. And I will share after this podcast an example of a guy that used this podcast to build an 8-figure business, zero ad spend, just using the podcast. I'll share that after. But and this is what I've used as well myself, because podcast blessed my life in many ways, but it took greatest way one, finding my voice, into building a completely brand new business from scratch within 2 weeks of launching the business. Yeah, even before going live, actually, I had 6 paying clients. And that was in December of last year. And since then, in the past 3.5 months, I've got 14, 15, maybe 16 paying clients. Again, no marketing, no email list, zero ad spend, just using the podcast. And I'm doing it a very leisurely and very, small way. So, but I'm looking now to ramp it up. But if you do it really, you all in, all aggressive, this can really take your business to 6, 7, and beyond, because this guy did it to 8-figure.
I can see it. I can see it.
Yeah,
I love that you point out the intimacy it creates. It
absolutely.
is, they get to hear your voice, and it's between, there's no ads, there's no crazy stuff going on, and they
Yeah,
can just hear you and hear your story. Yeah, yeah, I can see that.
absolutely. And yeah, I will tell you more about that after this call. But yeah, definitely that's a gold mine. Now, you mentioned that you also, another thing that I'm very excited, and I'm only starting getting into as baby steps, which is publishing. So I'm gonna have my first experience in the world of publishing with my first chapter, which I'm gonna go live next week on April 1st with our good friend
Yep.
Mary Gooden. So you've been a publisher for a while. So tell us about your experience with publishing.
So I started out as an author, being sharing my chapters in multi-author books. And last year, around like August, my mentor started talking about mentoring other women to create heart-centered publishing houses so that we can start to shift the publishing industry, which has been very masculine and about the money more than human interaction and the true authentic stories. And I remember she started sharing about it, and I was like, oh my gosh, what is she up to now? Here we go. And she sent me an invitation, a personal invitation, and I was like, that's not part of my purpose. Like, I don't even know how I can do that. Like, I have no idea, but for some reason I could not stop thinking about it. Like, I started, the ideas of the books that I wanted to co-create started coming through. I started making lists of that. I started thinking about how I was going to make it. I was like, whoa, 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 what is happening now? Like, what is going on? Like, why am I thinking about this? So, after checking in, I was like, is this really what you want me to do higher self? Is this the path that you want me to walk on? And it was a clear yes, like a whole body yes. So I said yes without having any idea of what it would be like, how all of that would come about. So I said yes. And I haven't looked back since. It's been an incredible journey to create containers where people can come in and feel safe to share their story with the world, like that. And these containers are very transformational, which I know you've experienced, as you are tapping into yourself, like, what stories want to be told, which of my experience will benefit the world at this time, and you're writing it through, you're going through your own transformation. And then when you put it in the world, that's another initiation, right? It's like, I'm no longer hiding. Everybody knows about me now. Everybody knows where they can come work with me, where they can come find me, right? And then the people that read it, the feedback that comes through. So it's a whole beautiful journey of transformation that I get to, oh, what am I looking for? Usher,
Yeah, yeah,
co-create, with others, and bring that into the world. Heart-centered publishing houses. Yeah.
beautiful. So moving forward, you're gonna go all in into that, and because if a podcast and a book together, that's an unstoppable match, unstoppable mix. And if you add to that, you know, as part of my program, the podcasting academy I have, which is called the launch your podcast and the 3 week launch your podcast challenge. I also bring in experts in key areas of business because even though
Yeah.
the goal of my program is launching the podcast, however, launching as a podcast is only the start of the journey. So when you have your podcast, you may need help with, say, marketing, with say copywriting, publishing, and all that. So I have one expert among many that I brought, and she is a media and PR expert. She worked for over 10 years at a station actually in Colorado, and she was at the end she was running 3 or 4 shows herself until they decided to part ways, and now she's helping business entrepreneurs to get interviewed by the media, TV, radios, and leverage the power of press releases. So she came and did a couple of master talks, presentation in my previous classes. And then I asked her, so what is the secret to getting on all these radio stations, TV channels, and all that? She said, well, you need to have 3 things. One, make your business bigger than you, meaning business with a cause, with a story, with a purpose, with a mission. Number two, have a podcast with an audience. And number two, have a book. If you have all these 3 things, and you become absolutely, very attractive for the media. And on top of that, once you do that, another beautiful thing is that competition will become completely irrelevant to you
Mm-hmm.
because you will become untouchables. So you already have all of these 3 things together. Just need to put them together, which is we're going to tell you after that how to use your podcast in a strategic way to build your business, to,
Yeah,
to invite only your ideal clients, not just random people just to make up numbers.
totally, totally. I love that you say that because in the multi-author books, like I get to bring in PR experts to also train them because
Yeah,
having a book is a big leverage for you to stand out
yeah,
in your niche
absolutely.
and to stand out in the world. There's something people listen to you when they hear that you're published, when they hear that you have a book, they pay attention. All of a sudden it's like, oh, who are you?
Even if it's
And
just a
so I love
chapter,
that.
even if it's just a chapter, because it's still better than
Exactly.
nothing.
Exactly. Um, yeah, so that's something that I bring in where we teach them how to leverage the entire book or their chapters in their business to expand your business, to bring in more clients. And I truly enjoy bringing that training to them too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because you mentioned standing out. There's a cheesy line in real estate that you've heard countless times more than you care for now, which is location, location, location. After living and doing business around the world for the past 15 years, I noticed something similar. I call it the rules of the 3Ds: differentiation, differentiation, differentiation. Meaning that's a question that every single one of us, business owners, whether online or offline, even if you're selling hot dogs and ice cream down the street,
Yeah.
what can I do today that's going to allow me to separate myself, to elevate myself from being whatever I am, a coach, a speaker, a podcaster, a publisher, a realtor, an accountant, whatever you are, to being the
Yeah.
expert, the authority, the leader. And to do that, 3 things, and I mentioned them already: make your business bigger than you with a cause, have a podcast, and have a book. Once you have all these 3 things, then you completely become untouchable. Competition will become alien to your vocabulary. It's not going to even, matter to you because your competition, you can bet your bottom dollar on not doing that.
Yeah.
It's all about
No, I
standing
love
out,
it.
elevating. And
I
that's one of
love
the
it.
things I really emphasize on my program, which is let me help you find your voice so you can become the expert, the leader, the expert in your field, in the authority, in order to have the bigger impact, make as much money as possible so you can have a bigger impact possible.
Exactly. Yes. Yes. Money amplifies.
Oh, totally.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. So yeah, absolutely. This is something that you are sitting, as I told you, not in a gold mine, not even a diamond mine. What's after that? Maybe plutonium or whatever it is,
I know, right?
whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
That's
loving
us.
this journey. Yeah, a lot is
Yes.
unfolding as I move along, like the differentiation. I was thinking to myself, I was like, I'm a spiritual mentor who has a publishing house, who's also a #1 best-selling author. and merging all of that together with my background in psychology and Chinese medicine and pre-med, like, wow, like
Indeed.
that's a
Wow.
beautiful, like putting it, like just bringing it together. It's like, wow, okay.
Hey, that can be
Differentiation.
your branding name, the Wow Publishing Crew or whatever, the Wow Publishing, whatever, just thinking out loud.
I like
Anyways,
it. I
listen, I
like it.
love talking to you. You're amazing. You've been blessed. And we only just scratching the surface. There's so much more that we can explore, but that's going to be probably for a part 3 in a few weeks. But let's start wrapping this up. To finish, I'm going to ask you a series of rapid fire questions on advices.
Woo!
Ready?
Yes.
All right. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received so far?
One step at a time.
Love that.
Step at a time.
What's the worst piece of advice you've ever received other than get a job?
You're almost there. I hate it. Like, just tell me the truth, just tell me the truth. How long do I have to go? You're almost there. No, I'm not.
That reminds me of the story of the guy that just helping some people go to someplace, and in the country hiking. How long?
Yeah.
How much? You see that little hill over there, just behind
Yeah.
it. Oh, you see that tree over there?
It's
You
right
see that
around there.
that thing over there? 3 hours later,
I hate
where?
it.
Oh,
That's
around that boulder. You know what I mean? Which one? We just passed the
which
boulder.
one? Oh, I hate it. My husband laughs at me all the time. Every time we go hike it, I'm like, oh, sweating, uncomfortable. And you hear someone say, oh, you're almost there. And I'll look at them like, thank you. But then I'm like, we're not almost there. I know it.
I hear you. Now, imagine that you were
Oh,
blessed with a time machine. You can go back in time and sit face to face with the 18-year-old Abigail. Knowing all that you know now, what's a number one piece of advice you would give to her?
don't give up.
Oh,
Life is
yes.
here for you. I know it's hard right now, but life is on your side. You're meant to live an amazing life, and you have the power to create that.
The harder it is
Yeah.
now, the more beautiful it will be after.
Yes.
Because even after the most terrifying storm, the sun always shines back.
Exactly. Yes.
And the night is the darkest just before dawn.
Oh, I love this.
We're just trying to be funny and cheesy right now. So,
I
all
love
right.
it. Thank you.
Very welcome. Now, since you're a podcaster, imagine that today you're interviewing the most special person in the world, which is yourself. What's the number one question you want to ask yourself? Don't think too much. What's the first question that comes to your mind?
Why? That's
What?
what came to my mind. Why?
Why? Why what?
Like, why are you doing what you're doing?
And your
I feel
answer?
like on my journey, I chose something different for my entire family. Like I chose something where even up to now, my mom is like, well, you can always go back to school and do nursing,
Yeah.
go back and, you'll be fine. You all that comfortabilities that come with, being a nurse or being in the medical field. And it's like, but this is what brings me joy. This is what I live for. This is what gets me excited to wake up every morning, to do a video, to get on the podcast, to work with my clients, to create programs, like this is my path. And I rather say yes to my path than meander trying to figure something else that is not me out.
Now,
Yeah.
right here, right now, you just shared with us and unlocked the number one secret to life. Go do what makes you happy, even if you may not be making as much money, but your heart is happy. Because and I had this beautiful conversation with a wonderful gentleman last week. He said, with a very highly successful businessman, he built multiple technology companies. He said, we talked about ROI. He said, but what is really ROI? It's not about money. It's about the biggest ROI you can get is in terms of happiness. Because what if you have all the money in the bank, but you're not happy? That's useless.
Yeah.
That's worthless.
Yeah.
So what the biggest ROI is, what can I do today is going to make me happy? And at the same time, be impactful. Not happy in a selfish way, but happy in a way that's impactful.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
the energy of happiness and joy magnetizes to itself the frequency of money. Money
Absolutely.
can't help but come to, support you so that you can be more and more and more and more happier, because you're going to have a bigger impact in helping more people also
Mhm.
step into their joy and their happiness. Yeah.
Absolutely. Love that. Now, my last question, the best for the last, my favorite question. What is the smallest thing you've done that has had the greatest positive impact in both your life and your business? By small, I don't mean something small. I mean the one thing. For me, it's been
Mm.
without a doubt starting my podcast.
I will have to say choosing to step into my
Your
my
role.
soul business.
Mm.
Yeah, my role 100%. Because for the longest time, I was doing half and half. I was still working the part-time job and then coming home to do family stuff. And then whatever little time I had, I would do the thing that brought me joy. I would do my heart-centered business. So it wasn't until I gave birth to my son and I was on maternity leave
Okay.
and it really landed. And I was like, I was like, hire yourself. I'm done. I just want to create my own business, which will allow me to have more time to raise my son. I want to raise my son. I want to watch my son grow. I don't want to miss out on anything.
Absolutely.
Like giving birth to my son made my priorities very clear, crystal
Absolutely.
clear.
Yeah,
And I
totally.
looked at my husband, I was like, I'm done. I'm gonna go all in, because if I don't, I'll never know what this can be.
And you
Yeah.
won't have the opportunity again because everything
Yes.
happens at the right time. And it happened at divine time. You were looking for not an excuse, but for something to push you over the edge, and
Yeah.
you having the maternity leave, that was the golden opportunity at the time. Now make the best use of it
Exactly.
and no
Exactly.
turning back. Beautiful. Listen,
Nope.
you're amazing. You're a fire. You're not even a firecracker. You're a volcano just by yourself. Volcano Abigail. You know. Anyways, listen, I love talking to you. We'll definitely be talking a lot more in the weeks, days, weeks, and months, and years, and eons, and lifetimes to come. So
Yes, brother.
and one thing I forgot to ask you, if someone wants to connect with you, what's the best way to do so?
Yes, you can just find my website, moongoddessacademy.com. You can find out about my groups, my programs, my offerings, how to find me on social media. You can find all of that information on there. So moongoddessacademy.com.
Beautiful name once again. All right. So don't forget about the fashion Sherpa. Check it out.
Fashion Sherpa. Oh man, what are you inspiring me
Divine
to do?
Fashion Sherpa, something along those lines. But anyways,
Oh, I love it. I love it. Thank
listen,
you so much for this.
this is a beautiful conversation because we are, you know, laughing like kids. It's what I love the most. Your contagious happiness and smile is bringing the kid in me and making me have a good time. This has been one of the most fun and enjoyable conversation I've had because you're a wonderful person to talk to.
Likewise.
Thank you so much.
Likewise.
Yeah, so stay safe,
Thank
stay
you.
awesome, keep blessing the world with your presence, with your smile, with your fashion, with your joy, with everything you do, with your presence, with your mission. Stay safe, stay awesome. God bless you, my beautiful friend. We'll definitely talk soon. Take care.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Bye bye.